you on this Tuesday morning. I'm Jennifer Vong. What's on the agenda of AutoNation's new CEO? That story just after these headlines. We start in Germany, where prosecutors are pressing criminal charges against current and former Volkswagen executives related to the automaker's emissions cheating scandal. Prosecutors have accused CEO Herbert Diess, Chairman Hans Dieter Poetsch, along with former CEO Martin Winterkorn of stock market manipulation. Authorities allege the three execs intentionally failed to inform investors in time about the financial impact of the emissions cheating case. In a statement, Diess's lawyer says the CEO could not have foreseen the financial market fallout. The lawyer added that Diess would continue in his role as CEO. The scandal first surfaced in September of 2015 after VW was accused of emissions tests with rigged devices in diesel cars. To an update on the UAW strike against General Motors, the walkout has entered its 9th day, and GM's operations in Canada continue to feel the strain of the strike. About 700 workers at the St. Catharines, Ontario propulsion plant have been told to stay home this week. The V8 and V6 engines they build and export to the United States aren't needed because of the strike. According to Unifor, the union that represents employees at GM Canada's plants, about 5,000 workers in Canada have been put on leave due to the U.S. walkout. That total includes suppliers such as Magna International. The parts maker confirmed it has started to experience sporadic temporary layoffs at some locations in Canada and the U.S. Talks between the UAW and GM are expected to resume today. A U.S.-Japan trade deal has hit a snag. This as Japanese officials seek assurances that the Trump administration will not impose new tariffs on Japanese-built vehicles and auto parts. That's according to Reuters sources. The two sides were hoping to finalize a trade deal while the leaders of the two countries were together at a United Nations meeting this week. But the limited agreement is not expected to include changes to levies and trade rules governing automobiles. The New York Times reported that Japan is demanding a so-called sunset clause that would cancel any trade benefits for the U.S. if President Donald Trump imposes new auto tariffs. And Honda has agreed to buy 320 megawatts of electricity annually from wind and solar farms in Texas and Oklahoma. Bloomberg reports the move marks the biggest clean power purchase ever by an automaker. The company will use the electricity to offset emissions from its factories in Ohio, Indiana, and Alabama. The deal will enable Honda to cut its greenhouse gas emissions from manufacturing by 60% in North America. The effort comes as the automaker also says it will phase out all diesel vehicles in Europe by 2021. Honda plans to electrify all of its European cars by 2025. It's been 2 months since Cheryl Miller took over as CEO of AutoNation. The former CFO of the nation's largest new vehicle dealership group has been busy meeting with employees and shaping the company's strategies. During a Q&A with automotive news publisher Jason Stein at Hireology's Elevate 2019 event last week, Miller shares what's on her to-do list.
Continued employee engagement. So it's a war for talent out there. You know, unemployment's less than 4%. So that's got to be front and center. Continued footholds into mobility. So we love the partnership with Waymo. We're learning a lot in that space. It's going to evolve a lot over time, but we like the idea of strategic relationships and partnerships with respect to that. We're going to run a great core business. So I never forget that this is a daily, hourly execution business, and a lot of the money is made in the back. So I think spending time with parts and service, spending time on our collision business as well.
The 47-year-old Miller has been with AutoNation for 11 years. In July, she replaced Carl Liebert, who had been hired just 5 months earlier. Mike Jackson, who, before Liebert was the group's longtime CEO, remains executive chairman. For more with Miller, be sure to catch this past Saturday's Weekend Drive show. And that wraps up today's newscast. Take care. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.